The Nordstrom Anniversary Sale is on now. Shop new arrivals on sale for a limited time from Madewell, Bobbi Brown, New Balance, and more. You'll find tons of deals under $100 on summer-ready fits, plus beauty exclusives from your favorite brands. Nordstrom makes shopping easy in stores, at Nordstrom.com, and on their app. Hurry, prices go up August 4th.
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
Welcome back to Connect with Jonathan Mark. And this is a very, very special episode. I'm going to be hitting my 1 year today of this podcast. And I can't even begin to thank every single one of you. It's been the most incredible year. If it wasn't for you guys constantly showing up, constantly, pouring this amazing support into the show, into everything, I don't know if I could have continued this show. It has been so amazing, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. And because of that, I feel like we created such an amazing community. Now, I sit down in a corner of a room and I talk into a mic, and that's how it felt in the very beginning. And now I feel like I'm talking to a bunch of friends, really, because you guys are just so kind and always wanting to help so many people. And I am so thankful. And I also want to bring up how when I ask you guys to do something, oh my God, you guys do it. When we brought up the listener review questions or anything, I mean, the amount that you guys, submitted was insane. And we saw all of them, like all of them. I am just incredibly thankful. I don't think I could really put into words how thankful I am. I'm touched. And you guys make it so amazing for me to do this show every single week. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. And I cannot wait to do another year. I want to go back to the very, very beginning. And when I first started this show, we started with celebrity readings, right? And I'm very thankful for each and every one that came on this show when they didn't have to come on to have a reading, to talk about anything. And I'm so thankful that they all did and they all support this show then and now. I want to explain to you guys the complete origin of everything. So when I kind of went out to Los Angeles years ago, everyone wanted TV. That was the thing. It was TV, TV, TV. And I always wanted to do podcasting. And the reason being is because I felt like I could have control. I could talk to you guys in a very honest and vulnerable way. It kept getting delayed. And then I said, I have to do this show. I just have to do it. So last year at this time, we put out the trailer and it was celebrities. And from that point, I was just happy to do this. And then as the show kind of progressed, we kind of started changing the show where it was a celebrity. And then I would maybe talk about an unsolved case that I've worked on. There was a celebrity, and then I would do a fan reading or like a regular person reading. And I was very happy to do it, but it wasn't like that thing that made me go, oh my God, I'm so happy to do this. Where now today with the evolution of this show, I am like so happy to sit down. I'm so happy to do this. I just want to thank all my friends and celebrities that kind of came on this show. And where it was Eric Winter, who I've developed a very good friendship with, whether it was Nicole Petito or Nicole Schmidt Petito, who came on multiple times. Then I have my friends Pete Weber, Snooki, Audrina, Patridge from the Hills. I had Italia Ritchie. I had all these different types of people that came on and made such an impact on this show, and really an impact on me, because a lot of the stuff when I do these readings, I don't really know a certain side about them. And it was very interesting to do these readings for them and to see that side. And after the readings are done, it's kind of like a connection that we have. I don't know how to explain it. But as the show went on in the beginning, I just remember thinking, I'm like, there has to be more. There just like has to be more to how I can help people. And not that these people that I've spoken to did not need help or anything, but I felt like I had a bigger purpose. Like I felt my purpose was to truly, truly help regular people, regular families, and even law enforcement with these unsolved cases, because that's what I was really passionate about. And what was interesting too is as the podcast was going on, I think it became more and more public that I've been helping law enforcement and these families with these unsolved cases. And I wasn't really sure if people were going to respond well to that. I wasn't really sure how I was going to be, accepted in the podcast community or just like anything at all. And it's been such a journey, going on Kate Casey's show, Dumois' show, going, on a little bit culty with Sarah Edmondson, the Lady Gang, going on all these different shows. And it's just been such an amazing like experience. And really just having them support this show and support myself, I really can't explain. And then having like other friends come on too in the show, like Jenna Dewan, and having them take time out of their busy schedule to sit down with me to do this. It's just, I'm forever thankful for them. I am truly forever thankful. They've been helping me on and off camera. So I just want to thank them again. Like, you've been such an important part of starting this show to get it to where it is today. And I really cannot stress how much this show has grown and how much you guys are just so amazing with helping people. Now, I want to go into the evolution of the first episodes where there was celebrities. And then I was like, you know what? I want to see how people are when I bring Nicole Schmidt or Nicole Petito, Gabby Petito's mom, on. And that was like an explosion that kind of happened. It was like crazy. Like, because you guys can look back, back in September, I brought up some details about, the case that were not public really about the ex-boyfriend and everything. And it was just very interesting. It got picked up everywhere. And I was like, wait a minute, people do care about this stuff. And then I went back to doing a celebrity. And then I went back and I did another unsolved case that I worked on, the Richard Patrone and Daniel Imbo case in PA, in Philly. And I had Andrea Gunning come on, and she has this show called There and Gone and Betrayal. And they called me a while ago to go on that show. And they didn't tell me anything about the case, but all I knew was that the FBI was connected to this case. So I was able to do a reading to help this case and with the FBI. And that exploded. And I took a little break after that because I needed to like reassess. I needed to like, get people that were on the same wavelength as me for the show. I also got married at that time. So it was a much needed break for me. And then when I came back, I went straight into just helping families and helping law enforcement. That was where I was passionate about. Real people, real cases, real law enforcement. And oh my God, do you guys love that stuff? I mean, I'm so happy because I love helping those people. So it just makes everything that much better for me. So when I came back from the break, we were very fortunate enough to have a celebrity who was going to come on the show, but then I changed the show being just law enforcement, helping law enforcement, real families, real everything. And she connected me to what you guys know now, Suzanne Clark Simpson case, Chandler. And that took off because with the reading, 48 hours later, they made the arrest on the father with some of the stuff that was said in the reading. Now, the positive and negatives to this stuff. The positives is obviously helping the families and helping law enforcement, because now with this show, law enforcement specifically reaches out to get these cases, brought out to the public and also for my help. So there's a couple things I'm going to bring up after this, but the negatives about this, which I don't think you guys know too much about, and I haven't really spoken about it, is with these cases, they're forever, kind of going unless it's completely solved. And a lot of these cases that I'm being called on by families and law enforcement, they are not solved and they're still working at it. So we will do a case. It will be put out onto the feed, onto, where you guys get it, on your phones or wherever you listen. And then it starts getting traction. They listen to it. So then we'll get like an email from the family or law enforcement. It could be at like midnight. And they'll be like, I need you to take out from 10:32 to 12:41. And it's forever changing all the time. So sometimes when you hear these episodes, like later on after that they're put out, it appears very choppy. And that's because the law enforcement asks us to take out, these parts. Now, I have to give like the biggest shout out, to my producer, and he edits my show too, but he is like works around the clock doing this to make sure that the families feel comfortable and law enforcement feels comfortable. And he's constantly removing stuff and trying to make everyone feel safe. So that's, I'm very happy that when I made this transition to start going to these shows, I picked the right people to do it. So I'm very thankful for that too. I also want to explain to you guys as well, when I do these cases, I hope you guys know that after I do the reading on here, that's not it. Like, we're not done. Like, I continue the help with law enforcement and the families. That's why there's like sometimes update episodes. But a lot of times when I do this, and what I've been learning is sometimes when I do these readings, after you guys look up the case, you're probably like, holy crap, like how come you didn't bring this up? Or how come you didn't talk about this? Like, what the heck? And the reason being is because now that I'm learning about, how to navigate working with law enforcement, having a podcast, I do a lot of these readings. After we click record and it's done recording, I continue the reading to where like those like big, I guess you can say juicy parts are, because when you put those juicy parts in, those are the parts that they immediately ask you to take out. They're just like, you need to take that out. So I always continue to help the families out, and it's just forever changing. Now, what has also been surreal about this show is I work a lot with law enforcement, a lot with the FBI, and I was able to get someone who's worked on the same case as I did, just at different times. And his name was Richard Frankle, Special Agent Richard Frankle. Now, just so you guys know, this guy is a very decorated FBI agent. He's worked in national security, counterterrorism. He was the guy that would go to like Iraq and Afghanistan during those times and gather counterintelligence to help prevent terroristic attacks on US soil, specifically the New York area. And it was just very cool because it was all word of mouth. That's how I was able to get him from the FBI community. And he believes in what I do. He believes in the help that we're trying to provide on this podcast. And it's just an amazing, accomplishment to actually get him to come on, because he's also extremely busy. He still works like with some of these cases. Maybe he's retired, but he's still involved. So it's been so surreal that like these other agents that I work with, these FBI agents, were like, you need to go on a show to help him. He works with us. And that's how it was, really. So it's just, I'm so blown away. And again, I really can't stress this enough. Like, I'm blown away by you guys, like constantly. I mean, the help that you guys give these families, I don't think they can express how thankful they are. And I can't either. You guys help these families out so much by digging into what I say or digging into the case, really trying to help them. Helping even the law enforcement. I mean, I get emails from them all the time saying like, you guys are awesome, sending them good tips and everything. And I just like really cannot really believe that, you guys are just so amazing. It just makes this so rewarding. So again, from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you.
This episode is brought to you by the world's first reposado from Tequila Herradura. Made with slow-cooked, hand-harvested agave sealed into oak barrels and aged 11 months. Before being enjoyed in your glass. Experience the world's first reposado, Tequila Herradura. Please drink responsibly. Responsibility.org. Tequila Herradura. 40% alcohol by volume. Imported by Brown-Forman, Louisville, Kentucky. Herradura is a registered trademark. Copyright 2025 Brown-Forman Corporation.
It's Wednesday, Adams. I see you're trying to distract yourself from your own banal thoughts. Let me help. Here's a recording thing made of my latest root canal.
Wednesday, Season 2, begins August 6th, only on Netflix.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold! Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
So guys, with this past year, I've obviously have found a couple episodes to be one of my favorites, I guess you can say, for various different reasons. Now, I want to go back all the way to the beginning with the celebrity readings. Now, one of my favorite episodes, there's a few. So I want to go to Italia Ricci. Now, I read her husband years ago, where we both, I don't even think he was married at the time. And if he was, maybe it just happened. But she was presented to me to come on the show. And I was like, oh my God, yeah. Now, I didn't really know too much about her. She was so kind and so nice. And the reason why it's one of my favorites is because I connected her to one of her co-stars that passed away. And saying some of the things that he specifically said to her. And the reason why it's one of my favorites also is because you can see this weight come off of her chest. You can just see her just take a deep breath, after her crying and everything. It was such a great moment. It made me kind of remind myself of why I do this all the time. When you work in all these different fields, sometimes you're doing it and you forget why you do it. And it was just such a good reminder. Another one was Eric Winter and me connecting him to his family and just seeing real reaction, but him seeing the importance of it as well. And then us taking conversations off camera, building a real friendship. And now we do have a real friendship. It's just one of those moments where, I look back and I'm just so thankful for it. And then various other episodes, Nicole Petito, Nicole Schmidt coming on and helping her get through some things, and connecting her to Gabby and giving her some answers about the ex-boyfriend and everything. That's one of my favorites. I would probably say another one of my favorites, honestly, was another recent one I did. And it's not true crime. I read someone, an everyday person, she lost her brother, and you see the real reaction of someone who lost someone so close to them and their family, and how she is now after. It's just such a beautiful thing. But I really can't look back on this year and not talk about the biggest episode that came out. And that was the Suzanne Clark Simpson case. Now, I'm sure you guys have heard this story before, but I want to say it again and talk about it because it was very important. I mean, we took a break and that was the first episode back. And again, it was supposed to be Amanda Klutz coming on the show to continue that celebrity type of show. And I was just not really feeling it. And then she reached out to me saying that there's an unsolved case and that she knows that I work with law enforcement and that it was going to be her best friend. And then the best friend last minute switched because she felt that the daughter would benefit more from it, which she definitely did. So her coming on, nailing a couple of the a couple of the big things that they needed to officially arrest her father for the murder of Suzanne, trying to help them piece together where Suzanne is. It's just been a whirlwind because like at that point, it was recognized on all these major true crime podcasts. Like it was all over the news in the country. It was crazy. It was just very, very crazy that the first episode back, it just went bonkers. And that kind of like also proved to me that you guys like it. You guys like what I like, like which is helping families with their unsolved cases. But it was a whirlwind because of how fast it moved. I mean, we filmed on like a Monday, released on a Tuesday, and they made the arrest on a Thursday. And then we found out because there was a bunch of different departments that were on this case. We found out that it was because of some of the reading that I did. And one of the examples I can give you that I'm allowed to is, and again, those are one of the episodes that constant taking stuff out constantly for the law enforcement and constantly. So one of the things I could talk about is when the father was in jail before they like completely, convicted him of the murder, they were setting back and forth blueprints. And the blueprints, because they worked in construction, building houses like real estate and all that stuff. And they were writing stuff down that people didn't get. They were just like, I don't get that. And then during the reading, I was able to uncover what some of that stuff was to help make the arrest. Like that's the important piece. I was able to uncover it. It was validated. The police looked into it and then the arrest happened. There's like a whole like other side of things to this too, where I can't really talk about some of the stuff that helped them, but that's a huge piece. That's another big episode that I probably talk about a lot because it was the first episode back. It happened within 2 days because a lot of these unsolved cases, they don't like work like that. Like it doesn't happen in 2 days. It takes months, years, decades sometimes. I mean, a good example of like a long period of time is the Long Island serial killer. I mean, I started working on that in like 2017, 2018, and the arrest didn't happen for like a few years ago. Like it was a long time. So that's why I'm saying that's part of the reason why, aside from it being picked up everywhere, aside from all these people talking about it, it was just real time that like everything happened. And they took what I said and they took our recording with like Chandler and they looked into it fast, like real fast. So it was cool to see that. But I mean, there's so many moments on here. I could go on and on and on, but helping families get answers to their unsolved case, reading everyday people like my mom, my dad, my brother, like just doing stuff like that, like really makes me feel just so happy. And again, there's so many different things I could really go off on and like kind of go on a tangent about, but just being able to help real families with unsolved cases, law enforcement, regular people, like that makes me the happiest. So I know I keep saying this and you're probably gonna be like, oh my God, you're so annoying, but thank you guys for making this all possible. Guys, I just want to circle back again and say, we see all your reviews and comments. It's like, we have so many. So I just want to touch upon a few because Cooley 2333 brought up the Delphi murders. We are definitely going to be doing an episode on that. Ashley Kayla needs greater detail on the staircase case from Netflix and the Michael Peterson. Also going to be looking into that. C. Silva, Deborah Mello's case. We're definitely going to look into that. And L. Harris, Missy Beaver's case. We're going to do an episode on all these cases and more. And guys, please continue to leave 5-star reviews with comments like this. We've been seeing a lot of them coming from different podcasts like The Lady Gang, Kate Casey, Dumois, etc. And I just want to say thank you so much for coming over and listening to the show. And if you want a question answered, a case done, please leave a 5-star review and leave it in the comments. We are going to be looking at all of them. We continue to do it every day. And we're so thankful. And if you have any cases that you or your family are affected by and want some help, please email connectjonathanmark@gmail.com or just send me a DM on my Instagram over at JonathanMarkMedium. Guys, thank you so much, and I will see you next week.
Mom and Dad, the school supplies you buy me this year will mostly end up in my mouth. Maybe shop low prices for school at Amazon, so I don't eat up all your money. Just something to chew on. Amazon. Spend less, smile more.